Hello, lovely souls. Welcome to the Festival of Samhain. And you might recognize this around the world as Halloween in some places. And I'm sure there'll be other names as well, like the Day of the Dead and so on. It's all around this sort of theme. But happy and blessed Samhain. So this beautiful Samhain festival and ceremony. And I welcome you, and I would love for you to join me as we talk a little bit about this special festival at the end of this Celtic year, just before the start of the new Celtic year. And we can do a little ceremony together whereby we can come together here. And I'm going to channel a message which was coming through this morning when I woke up, and just seems so appropriate for the festival today and being on live with you today, and talk to you about different things about Samhain, but very much our ancestors and the veil being thinner at this time of year in the Northern Hemisphere, and how this is a wonderful time to connect more fully with, you could say, the whole of our spiritual team perhaps, but our ancestors is a big part of this. And this is something, this festival, this Celtic celebration of Samhain, is something that our ancestors for generations after generations would have done. And so this is very special, and it really brings us even more fully together in this ancestral line, closer with our ancestors, and it gives us that time to really think about what our ancestors have done for us, and also what we can do going forward to support our family line and to release those things that aren't serving our family line, and so that we step into more of our pure divine soul self. So it's a really exciting time. What I'm going to do is just cleanse the room, asking Archangel Michael to come in and hold the space and cleanse the space, filling it with love, filling it with light for us all, for our highest goods, as we celebrate this Samhain ceremony and this beautiful Celtic festival that our ancestors have celebrated in the years gone by, generations and generations. So it's super exciting. What I've done, and you might like to do the same, because I want to be able to support you in doing something similar to this at home as well, if you wanted to. So, for example, I have got some pumpkins, sort of autumnal fruit. So I've got some different types of squash and pumpkin, which is really lovely. And it's almost like celebrating that late harvest as well, isn't it? Which is super fun. Me and the boys went and picked a load of these from a place called Pumpkin Jim's, which is near to us in the UK. So that was really lovely. And I'm just going to show you these because I think you might like these like I do. This is a different type of pumpkin or squash here. And I was doing this one with one of my boys today, which is super cute. It's just that it's a little one. I've got to try not to burn my outfit here because I'm kind of in the style of Samhain and Halloween with my kind of black cape going on here. I've got wax all over my fingers. And then I've got another really big pumpkin. I'm just going to try and show you it. There's a little light in here. This is a really giant one here that I was doing with my elder son. It's actually got Sonic on the front. Probably not what our ancestors would have done, but look at the stars. Look at the beautiful stars, the two triangles together, the sacred triangle, the sacred pyramid, the beautiful star. I've forgotten the other names, but there are several names for them, pentagram, etc. And they are so beautiful, and they are very much about, those symbols are very much about living at one with the Earth Mother and off the land, and the balance of life, and earth, air, fire, water, and so on. So it's really beautiful. So it seems very appropriate that we would put those on there today. And we've lit some candles, and always remember with the health and safety of stuff, make sure you blow your candles out and make sure everything's safe, because I'm a real warrior with that kind of thing. But I've managed to get wax not only over my fingers, but now also over my leggings. That was clever, wasn't it? And I've just got lots of little lights around. I wanted to show you these because it kind of sets the scene. These lovely little fairy lights, which are so cool, because at this time in the Northern Hemisphere, it's much darker in the afternoons and the evenings, and it doesn't get light until quite late on in the morning. So of course we're going into that time where there is less sun. You know, it's like the sun is sleeping more for the Northern Hemisphere. And it's a time where we go within often. We feel much more connected to our ancestors at this time of year, because the veil does feel so much thinner between the spirit world and our earthly world. And a big part of that is because of the more hours of darkness. We just connect in with it more fully. We have more time awake where we're in that physical darkness of the lack of the sun. So it's a really interesting time, and certainly for us, whether you class yourself as a spiritualist or a pagan or a starseed or whatever it is, this is a powerful time for us to really connect, perhaps even more fully, to our ancestors and our spiritual team and guides and so on. It's a very powerful time, and it's also a very powerful time of that journeying within and doing some more of that shadow work and that transformation that we often go through more at this time of year. And we're in the astrological term of like the Scorpio, which is a time for going within as well and bringing up to the surface that shadow side that is asking to be addressed. So I just wanted to read you a few little bits that I've written down. So the end of the Celtic year. This was the end of the Celtic year. And it was looking ahead to the beginning of the new year. So our ancestors at this very time would be using things like the rune stones and the tarot cards and other really interesting spiritual tools like this to support us in stepping forward into that new year in our fullest capacity, to ask for guidance for that year ahead of how perhaps we can best flow through this new year. So this was a great time, and this is why we're going to tap in shortly to a Hindu god actually that came through to me this morning, because it really lends himself to this time of Samhain and stepping into the new as we end this Celtic year. So a wonderful time to tune into the spirit guides, to tune into our council of light. But the ancestors are so important here. Like I say, the veil is much thinner. You might feel the ancestors more closely. They're always with us. They love us dearly, and they are always a part of us. And our ancestors, they watch over us and they support us. They see how the decisions that they made, the choices they made, the decisions they made, the lives that they led, all of those many years ago, could be centuries ago, actually have an effect on us modern day souls living in the earthly world. They're aware of that they made some really good, wise choices. You know, they made choices where they were in their power, and they also made choices that were fear-based and in scarcity, in lack, and in doubt, and so on, as most of us, I would say, do as humans. But what the ancestors realize, so when they pass, when the earthly body passes away and the soul returns to its home in the spirit world, if you like, the ancestors then see how that life has gone for them, how the choices have been, and they will know and see how their choices have affected others now from their spiritual home, centuries even down the line. So how powerful is that? And that goes to show what a powerful position we are in, because being blessed to live in the physical body at this time, we can work through some of the ancestral programming, some of the ancestral distortions in our family line, some of this programming that has not been supportive for our ancestral line and generation, or generations through our ancestral line. We can actually work through, we can actually bring that to the surface and to look at it, and we can acknowledge it and feel it. And if it doesn't feel good, we can release it, and we can move forward fully in our divine loving power, with not only the interests of ourselves at heart, but the interests of our ancestors, to support them, because the choices that we make now will have a positive effect on them. And we are making beautiful, positive footprints and steps, which will be imprints for the people that are coming into our ancestral line in the future. So we can create something really beautiful with our family line. We can rid it of any distortions, distorted programming, any sense of lack, any sense of fear or doubts or persecution imprints, or patriarchal dominance, repressed feminine. We can clear all of that. We can take steps to do this in our loving power, and really it can just do so much for us. It can really transform us, whereby we are in a point where we are living the life that we were wanting to live here. We are kind of decluttering, and we are ridding ourselves of all of the programming that's not working, all of that ancestral and family line distortions. It comes through in societal distortions and all sorts. But how powerful is this, that we're transforming our own life for the better, so that we can live the life of our dreams and not be held back and stuck and stagnant in the energies that we're in, that were perhaps created in that ancestral line. We can not only do that for us, but we can do it for generations ahead. And we are, by doing this, supporting the generations that came behind us. So how beautiful and powerful is this? I really love this. And I just want to check that I've mentioned everything that I want to mention. So they really do watch over us and cheer us on. They encourage us, and they really are cheering us, and like the cheerleaders, wanting to see us to clear the distorted patterns that have come into our ancestral lines over centuries. They want us to clear what has been stuck and stagnant. They want us to clear those karmic cycles, because that's another really good way of looking at this. They really are empowering us with their love, and really wanting to encourage and support us to break those karmic cycles that have been in our family lines for centuries. And this is a really amazing thing that we're able to do here. What a difference we can make in the world. What a difference we can make to not only our own lives, but the lives of our children and those that come after, as in their children and their children, and those that have been before us. So we are, by doing this, also for ourselves, embracing and embodying our sovereign self, our full potential, and the possibilities that we have available to us. We're releasing our fears and our doubts. We're releasing our ego. You know, we're shoving that to the side, or saying to it, no, that's not what I want. I'm not listening to that. I'm listening to my true divine higher self. So that shadow work, it's often termed shadow work, that we do, it can be very challenging, but it's very transformative, and it's incredibly powerful and beautiful. And when we're in the thick of it, it can feel sticky and stuck and hard and all of these things, but we have so many tools that we can use to support us in getting through this, and supporting us in releasing these things that aren't working for us and that are holding us back, and to step in more fully to our true potential and true loving power and soul self is so remarkable. especially when most people have never done that. You know, in this lifetime, most people have never done that. Some never will. And so it's a very powerful thing to reclaim your power and the love for yourself and everything else that goes with that. It's really beautiful. And what you're doing, you are empowering yourself and all of those ancestors and all of those that come after you. And you are raising the vibe. You're raising the vibe for you, for your family and your loved ones that are here on earth, the ones that are past, and the ones that are coming in the future generations ahead. Less distortions, less self-sabotaging, that kind of thing. So this is really beautiful. And Samhain just seems a fantastic time to think about this, because we are so connected to our ancestors. They affect us. They have contributed to our life in positive ways and not so positive ways, whether we realize it or not. And the veil is thin. This is a beautiful time to actually think about our ancestors, give love to our ancestors. And if you want to, you could honor your ancestors with the candles, the pumpkins, whatever you want to do, and thank them, because your life in the physical form on earth is here now because of those that have gone before you, if that makes sense. So it's really, really beautiful. And this work is full of love, self-acceptance, and always about forgiveness is so important as well. And embodying our true soul self, our soul gifts, shining our beautiful lights. This is what this all opens up to. And it feels important to say it now. And it feels, especially because I look outside the window, I'm in the UK, it's almost 5 p.m. in the afternoon, and it's basically black outside almost. It's really, really dark. And it is a time where we look within, and we can often go within ourselves. And a lot of people do feel the blues and get a bit down at this time, because it does make them be reflective and look within. But that's not a bad thing. That's a really good thing, to be reflective and to look within and to look at what's working in your life, what's not working in your life, and to bring your ancestors in more fully in love and light, to call them in love and light for the highest good, and to work with, for example, I love to work with my mother and my grandmother and my grandpa on my mum's side that are all in the etheric, and I love to bring them in, bring them more fully forward. And this time of year, what a wonderful time to embrace that even more fully, while the veil is even thinner, and the access that we have to our ancestors can feel even easier. So it's a really wonderful time, and they will support us, like I say, in raising that vibe together, in clearing those karmic patterns, those ancestral programmings that were distorted, the family programs and distortions and unhealthy patterns. They will help us with all of that. So this is really, really beautiful. And I really wanted just to read all of that to you, because I'm afraid I did have to look at my notes, because I probably wouldn't have remembered it all. And I just wanted to make sure I didn't forget anything. But so it's such a beautiful time. And what I'd really like us to do is to, if you would like to, it is a bit off the cuff, because I wanted to tell you about Samhain, and it doesn't look like Samhain. And as a dyslexic, I can tell you, I usually pronounce it Samhain or something like that, because it looks like Samhain, but it's Samhain. So there you go. That's an interesting one. But I'm going to give you this message. This morning, I had a message from Lord Shiva come through, and I'll tell you about that in a bit as to how that came about, because that was really interesting. But I wanted to set the scene and to give you this information about Samhain, and about all about it, really, or some about it. And you can do whatever you feel is right for now in how you step into the new Celtic year, and how you perhaps honor or send thanks to your ancestors. But what I feel really cool to do, and if you're not driving and not operating machinery, you might like to do this with me. I think we're going to go into a little bit of a meditative state. So you might like to, if you're in a safe space and you can sit or lay or just rest and close your eyes a little bit, have a glass of water by you if you can, because it always makes us thirsty to do journaling and meditations and things like that. But what I'd really like you to think about is, let's go within actually. Let's go within and just get really centered first. So a nice deep breath in, or just a nice cleansing breath. Make sure it feels physically comfortable. Nice breath in, and then a nice cleansing breath out. Remember, we're grounded to the earth. We're always grounded to the earth. We're always connected to source. You can use your breath to feel even more connected. As you breathe in, feel that heart chakra emanating outward with this beautiful pink. You might see it as this beautiful green, pink and green are what usually resonate for people with the heart chakra, but it's whatever feels right to you. Feel that beautiful, loving energy resonating outward and filling you up with even more divine love and light. That self-love, that self-worth, really feeling centered and grounded and connected with your spiritual team. Imagine that beautiful golden light coming down from source through the soul star chakra, through your crown chakra and your third eye, through your throat chakra and your heart chakra, your solar plexus, your sacral, your root, and really going down through the whole of your pillar of light and the whole of your chakra system and energetic body. You might feel a real focus, not only around your heart chakra, which as we tap into that heart chakra energy, and those beautiful healing, loving energies of pink and green. But you might feel very fully a feeling around your third eye and your crown chakra that is so very open right now, especially as we're in this meditative state, in this centered and beautiful, loving space of non-judgment. So just really focus into that, really feel that love and that light and that connection with your spiritual team. And you might like to just have a little think about life for you at the moment, with the year that you have had and all that you've achieved, all that you've released, all that you've gained on all levels, emotionally, physically and spiritually. And you might like to just spend a few moments giving thanks to your spiritual support team, your guides, your ancestors, all your beings of light that support you. Thank you to our spiritual support team, our spiritual council, our angels, our guides, all the beings of light that support us and have supported us through this year, no matter how it's been for us. And my hope is that you've had a beautiful year. But just know that your spiritual support team and guides are with you always, supporting you, helping you, encouraging you all the way. And think about all of those beautiful achievements. And I want you to give yourself a pat on the back for those. Give yourself a pat on the back. I'm going to pat myself on the back for all the achievements I've made. Give myself a big hug. I'd like you to do the same. I'd like you to say, well done. Well done to all of us for everything we've achieved in this year, in this Celtic year. And I would like to take this opportunity for you to just have a look at not only what's been working well for you, but perhaps what's not working so well for you in your life at the moment. And you could be really, and I hope you are, really happy and centered and aligned in your life. And I would say I am most of the time. I have moments where I'm not so aligned and I have to bring myself back to center, but I think we all do if we're honest with ourselves. But there's always other aspirations, additional aspirations, dreams and desires that come into our lives. And if you think about it, with the end of the year, often many of us set New Year resolutions, for example. So this is a little bit like that in a way, isn't it? That we're looking at what's not working so well. So what are we going to do about it? What are we going to put in place instead? This is really powerful because we're using the energy, our intention, our manifesting, our desires to get this of what we desire in place. So just feel into that. I'm just going to ring the bowls or play the bowls just a few times more, just to get the energy shifting through as well and supporting. But for me, for example, and this might give you a little bit of an idea and a guide to what you could have a think about here. So for my soul aligned business, my spiritual work that I do, I've got lots of ideas and lots of things that are birthing and that are coming into being in the physical world. But there's also lots of other things that pull my time and that I want to do and that I love doing, like stuff to do with family and being a mom and my other creative pursuits and things like that when I get a chance. But what I really want you to think about is what you really want to step into. And with my soul aligned business, I know that I need to perhaps be more focused on one or two of the topics that I'm wanting to do. Stay focused on specific things before I start trying to create another course, finish this one that I'm working on. So think about perhaps your offerings. So for me, I offer my one-to-ones, I offer circles, and within that I do my healing, different types of healing, aura reading, etc. And I'm looking at doing this course, and I really want to birth that fully into the physical realm. And alongside that, I'm writing a spiritual book. So I really want to birth that fully as well and get that published. So I've got a couple of things there that I really want to focus more fully on. So this is an example, and you might relate into this, or it might guide you as to what would be something that you would like to step more fully into and what you might need to release to get there. So I know that I need to get more organized with writing in my diary exactly when I'm going to do this work. So instead of thinking I'll just do it when I get the time, for example, you could put in your diary 4 days a week, half an hour to an hour slots, maybe even less, of when you do your book or when you do your course or when you write your course or when you do your new hobby or whatever it is you're doing. But it's birthing, it's going from that creativity to birthing it into the physical and making those steps gradually as to how we can birth this fully into the earthly realm. So have a little think about that. You might find that with your spiritual team that you have members of your family in spirit, your ancestors, that you're very aware of that often support you. And if so, you might like to ask them at this moment, to your ancestors, you can say, please step forward to give me clear signs that I understand, to support me for the year ahead, to embody more of my true divine soul self, who I truly am, my soul essence, to embody more of my gifts more fully, and to step in more fully to all the beautiful potential and beautiful possibilities that are out there for me. Now that feels aligned to me, but you do it how you feel comfortable. And just see what you're getting there. I can just feel smiles and laughter from my ancestors in a really beautiful way, like just so happy to see me doing what I'm doing. And I'm seeing that for me, and I know that that is resonating with me for you as well. Because when I'm in these live calls here, everything that we do here is for the highest good of all of us in this beautiful container that we have here. This beautiful, non-judgmental, loving space that we share together. And the messages that I get come through are always for you as well. They're always about being for our collective highest good, always in love and light for all of us here on the live and the replay. So I'm seeing our ancestors are just so happy. I'm seeing my ancestors, but like I say, I feel this is for you also. This is for you also. It aligns. And they're joyous, they're happy, they're smiling, they are loving watching how you are progressing with your life, your spiritual path, your endeavors, the things that you're stepping into that perhaps you haven't stepped into before in this lifetime, or things that you're stepping into that are aligned, but somehow it just hasn't happened until now. Fears, doubts, anxieties, feeling stuck, stagnant. But it feels just like things are flowing now more easily. And the ancestors are really cheering us on all together. Like I can see my mom and my grandma and my grandpa and so many ancestors just cheering us on and just seeing how beautifully we are progressing in our lives. And cheering us on, saying how beautiful it is to see us doing what we're doing in this earthly physical realm, because they've been in physical form. They were in the earthly realm. They had the physical body. They had the earthly lifetimes. And they know what it's like, and they know it can come with some challenges. It can come with frustrations. It can come with anxieties. It can come with ancestral distorted programmings. It can come with that patriarchal and often along the family male line patriarchal dominance. It can come with the oppressed feminine that can fall through the feminine line there. It can come through. So there's all of these things. And they're aware of it, they know it, but they're loving how well everyone's doing. It's really beautiful. They're smiling, they're cheering. And for times when we're going through those difficult patches, which we always do have those challenges that come up, they are there with you. They are there with me. They are there supporting us, cheering us on, encouraging us, knowing that they are always there. And that is a given. Those ancestors, those guides, those archangels, angels, guardian angels, the spirit animals that we have come through, like I brought through the energy of wolf yesterday on a live that was very present, had beautiful messages for us. These energies, they are with us, and if we need them, they are there. Our guides can change, they come and go. If we have a guide that we've kind of grown out of and they can't support us so fully, then those can kind of go to the background or perhaps out of our lives more fully. But they can always step back in. But new guides can come in. So I've noticed that I've got lots of different guides, and that some are more present and I'm more aware of at certain times in my life. And then other new ones come, and I might not really see them much, but I know they're there in the background and they'll step forward if I need them, or if they feel that they can support me in a certain way, in a certain challenge or a project or something that I'm desiring to create. So that's really exciting. So just feel into that and see if you can see or feel or hear a message from your ancestors. But like I say, I'm just feeling these really beautiful messages, and our ancestors are saying that, they did have the challenges and hard times and things that they went through and choices and decisions that they made many years ago, centuries ago, whenever it was. They're aware of the effect that is having also further down the line. They're aware of the difficulties they had and, tough decisions to make. And they were very strong. And they really did embody so much of that strength. They couldn't always kind of project out, like they couldn't always be true to who they were, of course, because you look back and you see that people that did the work that we do, that was spiritual, that loved nature, that cured people with the herbs, that were midwives, they were persecuted at times. And certain powers that be in government and patriarchal systems, very frightened of our creative birthing, female fertility energy, the power that we have and the beauty and love that we have and hold. So there were times where certainly as women we were suppressed, oppressed, repressed, persecuted, etc. And so our ancestors are so aware of that, and they're also aware of the fears and the doubts that they took on and the anxieties they took on then, which actually for the time that some of our ancestors were referring to, some of those times, there would have been fears and doubts around this kind of thing. There would have been times where there would have been the persecution. And I know in one of my lifetimes, I was persecuted for being a witch. And they were very different times in the Western world, thankfully. We largely can practice what we want and be who we truly are and live the life that we want to live and love who we want to love and follow our dreams. But this is still not the case for everybody in the world. And it's crazy because it should be. But there's still countries that are very largely oppressed, and they are very patriarchal dominance. And we could talk forever about that, really, because there's so much distortion. But people are really showing up so much in their authenticity now, and they're speaking their truth as much as they can. And social media for this is brilliant because we can support each other through these channels, even though we're in different countries. And our ancestors are well aware of the plight of many from when they were living, but they're also seeing how many of us now can embody our true aligned self, how we can step out of what was a very distorted programming at times in the past and centuries gone by at times, and was very much around an oppressed society to control it. And they can see how the work that we are doing now is so incredibly powerful, and it's making a huge, huge difference for you, for me, for your family, for my family, for generations ahead, for others that are in your social circle, for others that you have that connection with, that are perhaps you see in your day jobs, at the school gates when you pick up the kids. Your beautiful shining lights and your beautiful acknowledgement of who you really truly are, your sovereign soul self, shining brightly in your truth, in your divine essence, is what everyone will see and can see as you start waking up to who you truly are. This is what happens. So well done, and keep doing what you're doing, because it makes such a difference in the world. And you can see the knock-on effect. You can see it out in the world now. And it's strange, isn't it? It's kind of ironic because we're seeing it as systems breaking down as well. But the old has to be dismantled in order for the new to come in. So we are very aware of how certain systems in society are not working for the highest good of the community, of humanity. We can see that. We know that. It's very clear in just about every government on the earth. It's very clear in the pharmaceutical industries, who only have really an interest in making money, dominance, power, etc. That's a whole topic on its own. I'm not going to delve into that now. I'm very grateful that there's medicine around in the system, in the pharmaceutical industry, that has helped people. But I'm also very aware of the underlying things that come with that. So that needs to be changed as well. And, we need systems of kind of a government to support everyone. We need systems of health and medicine, and we need schooling systems, and we need all of these types of systems, but they need to be shaken up a little bit. Let's say at least a little bit. It's way more than a little bit, but we'll go with a little bit. They need to be shaken up a little bit to then create something new and more aligned, something more streamlined, where we can take what's working from those systems, but we can add in all those extra things that are missing, so that every child is supported in school, every family has support and encouragement, every person can work through their trauma and their triggers, every person has a roof over their head, enough food to eat, clothes, water, fresh water to drink. So you can see where I'm coming from. And the ancestors see this, our guides see this. We're not here by accident, okay? And we've chosen to be here at this time, and the spirit world, the world of our guides, our angels, galactic beings, and all of these different things is incredible. It's amazing. They are so highly intelligent within the spiritual world. They know what's happening. They speak telepathically. They can see exactly what's going on. And so they know. So don't worry, there might be systems in place that are not working so well, but they're aware of it. And we are working to bring those up to the surface to be seen for what they truly are, and then to set in place the new golden age, so to speak. And so see if you can feel what your ancestors, or see what your ancestors, hear what your ancestors in love and light would like you to know. It's always in love and light. It's always encouraging, uplifting. And if it's not, it might be your ego. So just disconnect from that. And you have Archangel Michael with us, who's holding the space, who's protecting us all, and who is allowing in only those of love and light. That's important to always use your spiritual tools of protection and healing and stuff like that. Now you can come back to this meditation, or do this meditation in your own time when you are wanting to again. But what I really want to do in this meditation is just for you to be aware of your spiritual team, your guides, your ancestors. Be aware the veil is very thin at this time in the Northern Hemisphere, particularly here, because we're autumn going into winter, and there's much more dark than light in each day. And it's easier for spirit to access, actually, I find, when it's darker, and for us to see as well, to see spirit often when it's darker, actually. You can sense them more fully sometimes when it's darker, not always, but the veil is very thin around this Samhain time, this Halloween time, etc. So it is really beautiful. Hello, Tina. It's good to disconnect from the real world now and then. We all need that. Yeah, and what it is, it's absolutely, but it's about realigning. It's connecting again, remembering who you truly are. Yeah, and not getting bogged down and pulled down in the 3D earthly distortions of power and greed and karmic relationships and fears and doubts and worries and distorted programmings and all of that. So exactly, you don't want to be in that. That's more the 3D world. And so when we are more aligned to our true higher self, connected to our spiritual team, God, source, universal life force, connected to our guides, our higher knowing, and also very grounded in our body, that is when we can receive the messages from our higher knowing and our spiritual team, and we can glide with ease and grace through life, making decisions that are aligned to us, because we are staying aligned and sovereign in our highest of self, with tapping into that deep wisdom and knowledge. So absolutely, that's really important, and that's why I really impress on people when I often do lives, to have a daily ritual routine of where they do meditation for themselves and healing on themselves and such like. That's really, really important. So yeah, I hope you're enjoying it, Tina. I hope you've enjoyed this Samhain time of looking at these aspects and going within a little bit and thinking about our ancestors as well and the messages that they have for us. But like I say, you can come back into this whenever you want to. You don't need this video necessarily. You might like to use it. You might like to do this in your own time and own space, and go within and just tap into your heart chakra and energy, that higher knowing and wisdom, and that spiritual support team and source energy, and really sort of get channeling any messages that are coming through. Just listen. What do you hear? What do you see? What do you feel? Do you have a knowing? And just see what's coming through for you. But certainly the messages there that were coming through from from my ancestors were also coming through for others, and I was also seeing other ancestors as well, and it could even be mine that I don't recognize from way back, so it's probably that, but they're also tapping into those here live and on replay, your ancestral lineage as well. So that's really, really cool. So we want to thank our spiritual team, thank our ancestors for any messages, any words of love and wisdom that they have given us, and thank them with love and with light for coming forward and supporting us fully. And you might not always feel like you've got a very strong message from someone. You might not feel like, oh, they've spoken a few sentences to you. That's not always what you get. But sometimes you'll just feel this wonderful connection of absolute, pure, unconditional love and light and acceptance that comes through from our ancestors. And with that, that's that confirmation, not that you need it, because you know that they're there, but feeling that, you know that that unconditional love is there from them and that support. And that can be very nurturing and very uplifting and very supportive and encouraging. And particularly at this time of year, and especially in this Scorpio energy and the solar eclipses energy, where so much comes up that is in like the shadow side, is in the energies of denser, heavier, thicker energies that are holding us back, which are actually coming up for our own good for us to look at. Because when, I won't say if, because we can look at that, we can acknowledge it, we can feel it. It doesn't always feel comfortable. We can feel it and we can say yes or no. Does that feel good? Do I need that? If it doesn't feel good, I don't want that. No, I don't need that. Then you can work through that and you can release it. You can, by feeling and acknowledging, that is how you can then release with love and step more fully forward onto your true path of where you want to be in life. So it's really, really powerful. It's working with all this wonderful energy. We're all energy at our essence. So that's really beautiful. So I hope that that's been encouraging and helpful for you. If you're still in the meditation, then remember you are always connected to source. You are always grounded to the earth. But what I would like you to do as we just come out of this meditation is to visualize, see, feel, or know that there is a root, ribbon, cord, or light, or something to that effect, coming out of your root base chakra at the base of your spine. And it's about the width of your aura. So it's quite, there we go. So it's quite wide. And it's going down, 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 down through your legs, through your feet. You can visualize it going through your feet chakras if you like as well, holding you firm and strong on the earthly plane. Down, 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 down into the heart of Gaia and Mother Earth. Down, down, down into that crystalline grid. And just let that go down. Visualize it, feel it, know it, see it going down. And it will get to that point where it is in that heart, in that beautiful, loving, nurturing strength and energy. And allow it to come up, 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 through your feet channels, through all of your energetic being, through all of your chakras. So through your legs, through your lower chakras. So that's your root chakra, your sacral, your solar plexus. There are others, but I'm just naming a few there. And then going up, and you can allow that earthly energy to come up further, higher through the whole of your being, and mixing in with that beautiful source energy as we now feel more physically present, awake and aligned on the earthly plane, feeling physically strong and sturdy, our physical or our soul in our physical body on the earthly plane. And you can open your eyes when you are ready, and you can rub your hands together, wriggle your feet, wriggle your fingers, stroke down your arms, get moving a little bit. Only do what's comfortable, but I'm going to do a bit of a jig because I'm getting to the point where I'm getting a bit stiff sitting on the cushions on the floor. But it's been a nice little journeying type meditation, or talking it through and connecting with our spiritual team and ancestors more fully. And that is a really beautiful thing to do, I would say, every day. But to do this at Samhain, at this festival of Halloween, Day of the Dead, I think they call it in Mexico, I think it is, and different places around the world. But it's all about thinking about and sending love and honoring our ancestors, which I think is really beautiful. And Samhain is the end of the Celtic year. It is something that, like I said before, our ancestors from generations and generations back would have celebrated. They would have had this festival of Samhain to celebrate the end of the Celtic year and stepping into the new year with what they are wanting to achieve and so on. And so what I'd like to finish up with is this message that came through this morning. So I was online and I was listening to another spiritual friend who was doing I think she'd just done a live, and she was doing some light language, and I started channeling some of my own light language, and I asked for a specific word that would be meaningful for me today about this particular spiritual happening that I was having, this kind of encounter with this light language, and a word came through and I can't even remember it, and I didn't write it down. It began with a K, and I keyed it in to my phone because it wasn't a message that I knew. I will do some light language sometime. When you start saying light language, it sounds like a foreign language or something that's very ancient that we often haven't heard of perhaps before, or that we often don't understand. And we're not necessarily meant to understand it on a earthly mind kind of mental level. It's something that is an energy of love and light, and it's something that we know on a spiritual soul level of wisdom and knowledge. And so I started channeling a bit, and this word came through, and I wanted to, because the internet is brilliant for so much, I'd have to say it's very helpful. So I channeled this, did this bit of channeling, and I keyed in this word, and it's another word for Lord Shiva. So I was like, oh my goodness, this is amazing. And I've heard of Lord Shiva. And Lord Shiva, he is a Hindu god or a Hindu deity. And he's very popular, apparently. And I have him in one of my set of cards. I have him actually in my Kyle Gray set of Keepers of the Light, which is a beautiful set. I absolutely love it. And I knew that he had a message for me. And I knew that it was an important message to do with Samhain and stepping into the New Year's energy, and something that was really important for me to not only know myself, but to share with you, which is another reason why I really wanted to get on today, because the energies are very fresh. I'm in the energy of it, and it wouldn't matter if I did it tomorrow or whatever, but it just felt really important to me to try and get on now in this beautiful energy of Samhain, Halloween, etc., that we are sharing together in this sacred space today. So I looked up about Lord Shiva, and Lord Shiva is all about strength and that divine loving power, self-discipline, creativity. He's the master of medicine. It also listed yoga, arts, karma, and the destroyer of evil. And I just thought, how amazing is that? And how on point is that for where we're at in the Northern Hemisphere with the autumnal winter feel, and where we're at with stepping into the new year that's not far ahead in our Christian calendar, if that's what you follow, but in our Celtic calendar is now. We are stepping into it after this, because this is the end of the year. And then of course other religions that follow other ways that I'm sure around this time of year is stepping more fully into the end of the year. Hello Shani. Oh, hello my lovely soul sister. Thank you lovely that you and Tina are on here. That's really wonderful. And thank you to all of you that are here live. It's really awesome. It's lovely to see you all and to be in this beautiful energy. And it feels very calm and relaxed and lovely. It's a lovely vessel of energy, if you like. It's a lovely container of energy that we have. And I feel this a lot when I do these lives with you all. It's a beautiful container of energy with all of us as souls, our energy here in this beautiful sacred environment. And whether you're live or on replay, it's really powerful. It's really beautiful. Your energy is here, and my energy is here in this moment. And when you watch it, you know that energy still mingles. It's all on point and current, whether you watch this now, a week's time, a month's time, 5, 10 years time. But Lord Shiva, I thought this was brilliant. So this really, to me, is about remember your true divine self. Remember your power. You didn't come here to be controlled. You didn't come here to be weak and dismissive or whatever, to be repressed or any of those words. You know, you came here to be empowered. You came here to step into your true divine self, to speak your truth, to be true to who you are, to speak up when you feel that you need to from the heart. You came here to love yourself, to be loved. You came here at this particular time for a reason. You chose to be here at this time, and you chose lessons and blessings to have in this lifetime. You would have chosen different things on a personal level to achieve or to learn or to grow from. And you would have chosen different things on a, perhaps you might say, work level, soul aligned business level to grow from and to achieve and to learn from. And so this feels really beautiful. And so Lord Shiva is saying, shine in your beautiful light. Do not play small. You are a beautiful divine soul. You are part of the loving divine consciousness. You are part of that. That is part of you. You are love, and consciousness is love. And it is time for you to step up and step into what you want for your life and for you and your loved ones, and to live the life that you want to live. Don't hold yourself back. And he is about self-discipline. And I thought that's so important, though. You know, if you want to achieve your dreams, you do have to give some time and energy to it. And it was interesting that he said about the yoga and the arts that came up with him. And you know, yoga for some discipline for our physical being and for our minds and mental health. The arts for our creativity, for us to love and enjoy our creative expression, and for us to actually, with creativity, connect more fully with our intuition and our spiritual team even. So these were really beautiful. Now, he says, it's said about him, the master of medicine. Well, surely to me, straight away, I'm like, the healer. So he's there to support us to heal. He's there to support us. It says karma. He is there to support us. And this is so in with the current climate of Scorpio, of the solar eclipses and Samhain. This is so in the energy of, so the karmic stuff, that can be things that are holding us back in relationships, in different dynamics, the way we perceive ourselves in work, in relationships, friendships, romantic relationships. And it's about bringing up to the surface those things that aren't working for us so we can see them, bringing it to our attention. Doesn't always feel comfortable, often doesn't. But then we're like, aha, that's it. That's holding me back. That thing's an unhealthy situation. That's an unhealthy relationship. Or, yes, I love that person, but that aspect that we have is unhealthy. That's a karmic agreement. That's like an unhealthy healing agreement. So an unhealthy balance in a relationship. That's something that we could go into and spend ages on. But hopefully that's given you a bit of an idea. So Lord Shiva is supporting us in releasing those karmic patterns that have gone back ancestrally as well within our families. How on point is this with the energies of today and Samhain, helping us and supporting us and encouraging us to release this energy that could be holding us back still, so that we can step more fully into our power, into who we truly are, into speaking our truth, into loving ourselves and accepting ourselves more fully, and forgiving ourselves and forgiving others. So this is just so beautiful. I just absolutely loved it. And thank you, Lord Shiva, because that was just, it was just so beautiful. It was so on point. And I was just absolutely delighted when that light language came through for me and that word came through for me. And I looked it up because I knew I had to look it up, and I knew I was guided to look it up, and it came through as Lord Shiva. So that couldn't be more brilliant. So Lord Shiva appears, as I say, in the Carl Gray deck, and it says here, transcendence, rise up, honor your inner force, steps are being given, dance with the universe. You might want to have another little look. I'm showing you this because I really think that the Carl Gray packs that I've used, and I've used quite a lot, are really beautiful, really aligned, really high vibrational, loving energies, so on point. They're absolutely lovely. And I love his work and the work that he does that I'm aware of. I love, and I'm actually on a course of his actually. It's good. It's really good. So I wanted to use his current card of Lord Shiva to give you what he channeled through as well. And do feel free to feel the energies in your own time, or, you know, during whenever really, to tap into Lord Shiva yourself and to see what energies you get. Shiva is one of India's trinity of male god figures. He's depicted wearing a cobra around his neck, representing his capacity to tame fear or the ego. Surrounded by stars, showing you his connection to the cosmos, and holding a trident, acknowledging the three aspects of divine masculine power in India: creator, preserver, and destroyer. He's known as the destroyer because his warrior-like energy and ability to destroy fear. He is a facet of the divine father energy and offers paternal protection, support, and guidance. He's also acknowledged as the cosmic dancer because he helps coordinate the interaction between Earth and the cosmos. He has the capacity to help us move beyond the fear of failure into clarity and connection. Lord Shiva is with you right now to awaken your sense of connection to life itself. You are moving through a deep transition, and things will be clearer from this point. So this is an extended message that may be relevant for some of you. You will know exactly what you need to do and where you need to be. This is a powerful time as you will transcend the limitations that others have set for you. So how on point, because the limitations that others set for you is about family programming, ancestral programming, societal programming, etc., etc. It is a time of innovation, ideas, stargazing. Isn't that beautiful? That takes me back to times when I was in the cosmos, and times that we've had star beings. That's so beautiful. I just love that. Soul traveling and soul revealing. Shiva, the Lord of Dance, is here with his sacred sound of Om to lead the way. Dance, creativity, really beautiful. The Om, really powerful, really beautiful. Sound healing. We've been using the bowls. That really is beautiful. So that's from his Keepers of the Light deck. Personally, I'd highly recommend them. They're really beautiful and they connect in with many different light beings. So it's really, really beautiful. So I hope that has been supportive and comforting and uplifting and enjoyable for you all live and on replay. It was a little bit off the cuff today. I knew what I wanted to talk about with Samhain. I knew I'd made my notes, and I knew I wanted to give you the Lord Shiva message that he so kindly delivered to me this morning, but I wasn't quite sure what we were going to do in the meditation. I had a bit of an idea, and it was a bit of a talk through, but it was very much setting that sacred space to allow you to look at how things are working well, anything you're wanting to change or shift slightly, and working with our guides and ancestors and those loved ones in the ether that you align with. So I really hope that that was supportive for you. I'm doing a bit of a cleanse of the energies again, and thanking my spiritual team and Archangel Michael for stepping forward and being with us, and Lord Shiva, of course, for being with us today. And if you would like to know any more about what I do as well, please get in touch. I love doing these lives, and there's always free content on my Facebook pages and on my YouTube channel under Melanie Hughes. There's always these lives. There's always this free content. It's really powerful. It's really transformational. But if you would like to do a bit of a deeper dive or work with me more fully on a one-to-one, this is something that I love and that I offer. So it is really a beautiful experience and transformation. And so many people, I feel, go through life and they don't really know who they truly are in their physical form. They always have their soul essence. It's always there. But sometimes the 3D earthly world and past lives and karmic relationships and distorted patterns can really hold people back from stepping into who they truly are and remembering who they truly are. So this work is really supportive and encouraging for that. But it also allows you to connect more fully with your spiritual team, your ancestors, the angels, the dragons, the unicorns, whatever it is, spirit animals, whatever it is that you really resonate with. And it also supports you in specific areas of your life where you might feel a bit stuck. So if you'd like to come along to any of the circles online or in person to my house in the UK, then just get in touch. Do let me know. I know some of you have reached out and would like to come along, and so that's great. And I have set up the circles in my home, and that's all going really beautifully. And we have another one coming up in about 3 weeks' time, I think it is, off the top of my head. And I will let those of you that want to know about that and message me if you haven't got the dates in about a few days or a week, and I can give you those. And if you would like to join online and have this beautiful sacred space where we can all join together and we can actually talk together as well, then that would be really beautiful. So let me know. That'll be once a month. It's £20 UK pounds, which is about 23, 24 US dollars, I believe, at the moment with the current exchange rate. And so just reach out if you're interested in any of that or doing any one-to-one stuff with me. But thank you so much for joining me. Have a beautiful Samhain blessings. Have a beautiful Halloween, etc., whatever you wish to call it. And yeah, enjoy it. I'm going to be doing a little bit of a treasure, kind of like a treasure hunt, but it's like a sweet hunt around the house in a minute for the boys, because as you might have seen in the early part of this, we carved pumpkins today, which was really lovely. And we went to get some sweets. And so that was like a treat to get them some sweets. And then I'm going to hide those later. And then they're going to look around the house for them. It's too dark really to be outside now because it's literally pitch black now. But it really feels good now. It's later and darker. It's probably a really perfect time to do it. So we're going to be doing that. And oops, I've just gone once again, poured a load of wax everywhere. I'm not doing very well, but this is one of my little ones, candles. I think I've got rather a lot of candles here today, and to the point of getting wax all over my clothes, wax on the lovely carpet or rug. Oh well. So I'm just going to show you as well. Which way have I got to go? So we've got a lovely kind of display there as well. But don't forget, if you do a lovely little ceremony and festival of your own, that's a really beautiful thing to do. Make sure you don't spill the wax everywhere like I have, blow your candles out, etc. at the end. But thank you, lovely souls. Thank you, Shani and Tina, for joining me. Our blessings to you and yours, my dear. Thank you, Shani, and to you. Love to you and the family, Shani, and love to you and the family, Tina, and love to everyone that's joined. Thank you so much. Hope you've enjoyed it. It's been a fun one. Haven't done one on sewing before, not live like this. So lots of love, and keep shining your beautiful lights. Have an awesome week, and look forward to speaking to you again soon. Bye for now.